Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today, we're diving into Anime Reborn and talking about traits, those special boosts that can turn a solid unit into an absolute powerhouse. Now, getting traits on your units is the first big step in leveling up your game, and while luck is a major player here, knowing what to aim for is just as crucial. Some traits are game changers, while others, well, let's just say they won't exactly make you MVP. So, stick around if you want to make the best picks. In this video, we're breaking down the Anime Reborn trait tier list, showing you which ones will give you an edge and which ones you might want to avoid. It's all about making smart choices, especially when you finally got a unit worth investing in. If you've been feeling stuck or unsure about what traits to choose, this list is your ultimate guide. So, grab a snack, get comfy, and let's jump into the world of Anime Reborn. I'm quickly moving on to the video and I'm ranking traits in Anime Reborn. Before we start, if you enjoy these types of tier list videos, don't forget to like the video and subscribe. Enjoy watching.
A very small portion of the audience is subscribed to the channel. Please don't forget to subscribe if you like these types of videos. Thanks.
The traits in this tier are, in order from top left to bottom right: Agile 1, Sniper 1, Sniper 2, and Warrior. Alright, let's talk about those traits you want to avoid like the plague in Anime Reborn. We're in D tier territory here, where the traits don't just underwhelm, they're downright disappointing. You're better off re-rolling than trying to make these work because, let's face it, these won't get you far. First up, Warrior Eye. Now I know, extra damage sounds like it should be a win, right? But when it's only 5%, that's not even going to scratch the surface of what you're up against. You'd be better off re-rolling for something that adds serious power to your hits. Think of it this way. This is like getting a single drop of water when you're dying of thirst. Not going to cut it. Then we have Agile Eye. A speed boost sounds amazing in theory, but for attack speed, it's so minimal that you'll hardly notice it in battle. If you're looking for agility that actually helps you weave through fights and come out victorious, this isn't it. It's the equivalent of trying to speed up with a flat tire. You're just not getting the results you need here. And don't get me started on Sniper 1 and 2. Extending your attack range by a sliver might sound like a sneaky way to stay out of the danger zone, but it's hardly noticeable. In reality, it's like trying to shoot a bullseye with a cheap toy bow, just not worth it. You're better off aiming for traits that make your attacks actually matter, instead of extending your range by a measly inch. So, that's the D tier rundown. These traits are the better luck next time of the Anime Reborn world. They're not just weak, they're holding you back. Reroll, find something that packs a punch, and let's move on to traits that actually make a difference. The traits in this tier are, in order from top left to bottom right: Agile 2, Sniper 2, Sniper 3, and Warrior 2. Alright, let's dive into these C tier traits in Anime Reborn. Now, C tier, you know, is where things start to get a little meh. These traits aren't bad, but they're also not going to blow your mind. They're more like the, alright, I'll use it if I have to, kind of traits. So if you're feeling stuck with some C tiers, don't sweat it. They can still get the job done in a pinch. Take Sniper 2 and 3 for example. They're decent choices if you're looking to extend your range, and hey, who doesn't like being able to hit enemies from a distance, right? But when it comes down to it, there are other traits out there that offer better perks. So if you're hoping for top tier long range power, keep rolling the dice. But in the meantime, Sniper can help you land some decent shots and stay out of the fray a bit longer. Then there's Agile 2. Now, Agile 2 isn't game-changing, but it does bring a little extra range that can come in handy in certain modes. Think of it as the trait that pops up just when you need it most. You're not going to want to build your strategy around it, but it's nice to have in your back pocket for when the going gets tough. So, if you're dealing with a mode where range matters, Agile 2 can step up, but don't get too comfortable. And finally, let's talk Warrior 2. Now, Warrior 2 gives you a solid little damage boost, which sounds great on paper. But here's the kicker, it's not the kind of boost that's going to carry you through the harder battles. It's more like a mini boost and nice to have while you're saving up for something better. So if you're rolling and end up with Warrior 2, it's fine. Just don't be afraid to hit that roll button again if you're aiming for something stronger. So yeah, C tier traits. They're a little bit of everything, but don't get too cozy with them. They'll help you hold your own, but if you're looking for the real powerhouses, you'll want to keep looking higher up the trait list. The traits in this tier are, in order from top left to bottom right: Archer, Agile 3, Potential, and Warrior 3. Alright, so you're just starting off in Anime Reborn and looking to pick up some traits that will give you a solid footing? Well, let's dive into the B tier traits. These aren't game breaking by any means, but they'll definitely help ease you into the flow of things. Just remember, while they won't turn you into an unstoppable force, they're solid picks for getting a feel of the game and making steady progress. First up, we've got Archer. This trait gives you some nice range, almost like having Sniper 4, but with a bit of training wheels. It's perfect if you're more into staying back and picking off enemies from a safe distance. Think of it as beginner's sniping, ideal for avoiding that up-close action until you're more comfortable. It won't carry you forever, but it's a fantastic way to make ranged attacks feel natural. Then there's Agile 3, and trust me, you're going to love this one, especially when you're just getting started. It gives you a solid boost in attack speed, so if you're looking to zip around and dish out quick hits, Agile 3 is your friend. This isn't the kind of thing you'll keep forever, but early on, it makes combat feel a lot faster, which is a game changer when you're learning the ropes. Next, we've got Potential. Now, Potential is that trait you pick up if you're all about quick leveling. It's the get in, level up, and get out kind of vibe, which is great early on. But here's the thing, you'll probably want to replace it down the line as it doesn't offer much once you're progressing. Think of Potential as that friend who's amazing at helping you study, but won't show up to the big party later. Great to have early, but you'll eventually outgrow it. And finally, Warrior 3. Now, this one's a bit of a sleeper. It offers a respectable damage boost, and if you've got a unit at Legendary or above, Warrior 3 is a keeper for a while. It's especially handy if you're not sure what direction you're going yet and just want a bit more punch in your hits. Not the ultimate damage boost, but it's solid enough to make fights feel smoother. So, consider it a good enough trait that can last you a bit longer than the others if damage is your focus. So there you go, the B tier basics, perfect for learning the ropes, and hey, it's all about finding your rhythm in the game. The traits in this tier are, in order from top left to bottom right, Anubis, Exploder, and Wealth. Let's talk about some of the A tier traits in Anime Reborn that are absolute game changers, especially if you're stuck trying to get those top tier traits. While they might not be the flashy S tier picks, these traits will still give your units a major edge and help you progress while you work your way up the trait ladder. First up, we've got Anubis. Think of it as the Anime Reborn version of Agile Water. If you've used Agile 4 before, you know it's all about speed and mobility, and Anubis does exactly that. It gives your units a solid boost to agility, which is perfect for units that need to dodge attacks or get in and out of combat quickly. It's not going to make them invincible, but it's a super handy trait to have if you want your team to keep moving and avoid damage. Then there's Exploder, which is all about raw power. This trait gives your units a massive damage boost, but that's kind of it. It doesn't add any extra perks. You'll hit harder, no doubt, but that lack of versatility keeps it from jumping into the S tier. Still, if you're looking to deal a huge chunk of damage and blow through enemies, Exploder's got your back. Finally, we have Wealth. This one's a bit quirky because, on its own, it doesn't seem that exciting until you realize its full potential. Normally, Wealth is pretty much useless unless you've got a money-focused unit, but in Anime Reborn, Wealth gives regular units a 25% bonus to the money they earn from kills. So if you're not running a farm unit or just want to double down on cash flow, Wealth turns your units into little money-making machines. It's a cool trick to boost your economy while still focusing on the fight. So even though these traits may not be S tier, they're far from useless. Anubis, Exploder, and Wealth all have their moments, and they'll definitely help you keep up with the competition while you aim for those shiny top tier traits. Don't sleep on them, they might just be the boost you need. The traits in this tier are, in order from top left to bottom right, Demon, Ethereal, Heavenly, Miracle, Paladin, and Slayer. Alright, let's talk about the absolute powerhouse traits in Anime Reborn. We're diving into the S tier traits, which are the creme de la creme of the game. These bad boys bring crazy buffs, insane damage, and a whole bunch of abilities that can really turn the tide in battle. But here's the catch, they're not easy to get. S tier traits are rarer than a shiny Pokemon, and getting your hands on them requires patience, or a little bit of mythic pity to help you out. But trust me, they're worth the grind. First up, we've got Demon. This trait is like a double shot of espresso for your units. It gives a killer mix of damage and speed per attack. You want your unit to deal high damage fast, right? Demon is your go-to. It's like having a turbocharged engine on a sports car. Everything moves faster and hits harder. If you're looking to smash through enemies and get things done quickly, this trait will have your back. Next, let's talk about Ethereal. This one's a bit more interesting because it's a combo of regular damage and damage over time. But here's the catch. If your unit doesn't have a DOT ability, this trait kind of falls flat. Without that DOT, you're basically looking at an A tier level trait. So for all the units that are packing some serious DOT attacks, Ethereal turns them into an absolute nightmare for enemies. But if you're using it on a unit without DOT, you might want to reconsider. Now we can't forget about Slayer. This one's all about the damage boost. It's big, it's mean, and it hits hard. The thing with Slayer is though, that it doesn't do much else. Unlike other traits that give you extra buffs or abilities, Slayer is all about pure damage. If you're in it to win it and you just need that raw power to crush through the battlefield, then Slayer is perfect. But if you're looking for versatility, you might want to look elsewhere. Then there's Paladin, and honestly, this one's a game changer. It might even be the best trait in the entire game. Paladin doesn't just boost damage for your unit, it also boosts damage for your allies, and tosses in some random buffs for good measure. It's like the Swiss Army knife of traits. You can't go wrong with this one in your squad. If you want to make your entire team stronger while still dishing out heavy damage, Paladin is the way to go. Lastly, we've got Miracle. This trait is like a golden ticket. It offers some of the best stats in the game, including damage and buffs. But, and this is a big but, it comes with a limit. You can only place one unit with the Miracle trait on the field at a time. So, if your unit has multiple placements available, Miracle kinda gets held back. Still, for that one unit, it's a power boost like no other. And hey, if you can make the most out of that one unit, you're golden. There's one more trait to mention, Heavenly. This one's a solid support trait. It boosts your allies' damage, which is awesome. It's not the flashiest or the strongest of the S tier traits, but it definitely has its place. It's especially helpful in team-based setups where you need your whole squad to be strong, not just one unit. If you're all about making your teammates stronger while keeping the focus off your own unit, Heavenly is a great addition. So there you have it. These S tier traits are the real deal, bringing huge power boosts to your units and turning them into battle legends. If you can equip your squad with these traits, you'll be cruising through battles like it's nothing. Keep grinding, keep aiming for those mythic traits, and you'll be unstoppable. The video ends here. See you in another video. Don't forget to subscribe.